Okay, the Pioneer stereo had to come back out of my car. The belt snapped, which really sucks because I just replaced this belt like about a month ago, but it wasn't the right width, so I had to kind of cut it to get it to fit. Maybe that's why it snapped. And also, there was something I forgot to do when modifying this. Because I'm going to be putting in an amp, I needed a remote turn-on wire for the amp. I actually got my amp today. This is a dual 4-channel. I bought this amp after seeing Budget Gems or Budget Busts amp dyno test on this, and he found that it truly is 80 watts RMS. And so I got to fix that broken belt here, and I got to add a remote turn-on wire for the amp. That'll be easy. I just got to tap in at the output side of the power switch. And for signal, I can just use the speaker outputs on this radio, because this radio has really weak output power. It's only rated for 8 watts RMS at 4 ohms. And I connected a Bluetooth source up to it and played a 50 hertz monotone test tone, and connected the voltmeter to it, and found that with the volume cranked all the way up on a 50 hertz test tone, I was getting an output of 6 volts. So a lot of higher end car stereos will have 6 to 7 or even 8 volts on their output. A good strong output like that is good for an amp. It'll give you clearer sound because less interference will be getting amplified. So I can just use these speaker outputs to feed the amp. I just need to make special little adapter cables, take some RCA plugs and put these bullet connectors on to connect to those speaker terminals. Okay, so I just got done with the adding the amp turn-on wire, and I made an adapter for the RCA plugs. Just got a RCA cable cut in half, a couple bits of wire with these terminals on them that plug into the speaker wires. And to sort of see how well this will work with an amp, I've got it going into the input of my fader knob here, and then I've got that hooked up to the auxiliary input on my home stereo. Let's see here. Volume control on my home stereo will sort of simulate the gain control on the car's amplifier. Yeah, I can go up quite a ways before it starts to distort. This fader knob, as you can see, is working. I've got the stereo hooked to the front output, so if I rotate to the rear, it goes out because I ain't got nothing hooked up. So this will solve the issue of having only 2 outputs. Now this is a 4-channel amplifier, and the front and rear outputs of that fader knob will connect to the front and rear inputs of this amp, and hopefully I'll have much stronger, much better sound, because this radio here is rated 8 watts RMS at 4 ohms, and I had my front and rear speakers hooked together in series, giving me a load of 8 ohms. So at 8 ohms, the power I was getting was only 4 watts RMS, and then that's divided across 2 speakers, so really each speaker was only getting 2 watts RMS. So we're going from 2 watts to 80 watts. Hopefully I'll get a lot more power now. Okay, and for the broken 8-track player belt, I got kind of a crude homebrew solution here. I super glued the broken new belt back together. See if I can find the spot. Yeah, I doubt it's gonna focus on it, but yeah, I super glued that spot back together, and then I took the old belt that came out of the 8-track player originally and glued it to the outside circumference of the new belt that had snapped, using that same RTV silicone Silopoxy that I used to fix Sarah's boo-boos a few months back when we were living in that old shitbox trailer in Decatur. So I'm gonna put this in and see how this holds up. Well, that was a no-go. As soon as I started it up, this old belt that I had glued to the outside of the new one just peeled right off and slung itself into the machine. But the new belt is staying together, being just held together with the super glue, so may just roll with that. See how long that lasts. Well, it's working. Can't testify for the sound quality because I'm not familiar with this 8-track. This isn't my recording. This is just another one as found. It has been serviced. I have put a new full splice and pressure pad in it and cleaned the pinch roller, but I haven't erased it and put my own music on it. So I won't really know how this thing's doing sound quality wise until I pop one of my 8-tracks in it that I've played several times, like my Healing Rolls or DJ Searle 8-track. But it is all working, so I'm going to go ahead and put that back together and call that good, install it back in the car, and then for my next video I'll be installing the dual 4-channel amp. So thanks for watching, more to come later.